following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you can just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, that's
No,
how it works.
please.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
So, Oz, this week we are not only going to reveal who moves on from the Final Four to the championship of our Character Madness tournament, we are going to talk about Kong versus Godzilla. We might touch on a little bit of Falcon versus Winter Soldier. We might touch on a little bit of Invincible. It seems like we got a packed show. And, you know, we brought along a guest for this one, Oz.
We did.
Great. Great follow-up right there for me. Way to have my back. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, listen. Ease up, youngster. Because we have such a heavy-hitting show, we brought a heavy hitter for us. Is that what you're looking for, sir?
It wasn't that good either, but that's fine. We did bring in a guest this week. We have JVD from the Villains, the man who actually does have someone in the Final Four from the Crossover Collision podcast. Welcome to the show. And kick your feet up. I hope you brought beer this time.
I had to bring beer.
Yeah.
I thought Oz was bringing the beer. He's the one that's always got the beer.
He brought the cooler.
JVD, this is how terrible Regular Scott is. When you invite a guest, you're always supposed to have beer for the guest. So,
right, but you have beer, 60 minutes worth of it.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I've drank about 55 minutes worth of it too. So,
JVD, are you even a guest at this point?
No, man, I feel like I'm a family now, just like when you guys are on.
So,
JVD, you feel like you have been invited to the picnic, basically.
To the picnic?
Oh yeah, no, the cookout.
The picnic. This dude said the picnic.
You know,
is that what you want now, Oz? Is this part of the training of the body and the mind? You want picnics now instead of cookouts?
No, the picnic is the precursor to the cookout.
Got it. So
it's sort of like a gateway drug.
Hey, so while we're talking about food, JVD, what would you bring to a picnic?
Man,
a blanket.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to eat a blanket.
Cheese.
I'm not a goat.
Wine.
Man, probably sandwiches. I mean, isn't that your typicals, like,
yeah, that's pretty
picnic
basic.
Food sandwiches, you know, like
cheese and wine.
No, I don't like wine. I'm not a wino. Cookies, man. I like cookies. I went on my first picnic not too long ago with my daughter and my wife, and we took cookies. So,
what kind of cookies?
I'm a Nutter Butter guy. I love Nutter Butter.
Oh my goodness.
The only way Nutter Butters are any good are if you got to dip them in milk.
No, man.
No.
Yeah, you got to dip them in milk, dude. Those Nutter Butters and Oreos are milk dunks.
Oz, what's your if you could only bring one cookie to the picnic, what are you bringing?
Oh man, I am a straight up chocolate chip dude.
Okay, can't be mad at that. I agree with you on the Oreos part, because Oreos are probably my favorite cookie, but I love to dip them in some milk, and I'm not going to lug some milk out there to a picnic. So I'm going to
get from Nutter Butters to Oreos.
Well,
JVD, because it's always about regular guys.
Because Oz brought up, he how Nutter Butters and Oreos are things you have to are milk dunkers. So I agree with him on that part, but I'm not going to bring milk out to a picnic. I'd go with rainbow cookies.
Wait, hold on. What if you had a cooler that you knew was cold? You still would not bring milk to a picnic?
Nah, I'm probably gonna bring some soda.
Wait. A cookie dunking it in milk to me is like eating a steak with steak sauce. If you gotta have a steak with steak sauce, steak's not good.
I don't know. I've had some. Well, see, but like, are you talking like A1? Are you talking like a Bernier sauce? Are you talking like just straight up a delicious like melted butter with a little bit of parsley over it kind of sauce? What kind of sauce are you talking about there?
No, I'm talking if if you're eating sauce with your steak, it means your steak's not good.
Man, I don't know. I've had this like the Bernier I'm probably saying no, but the Berniers is like that's just delicious.
Well, no, I'm not saying that having a sauce is wrong. Don't get me wrong, I like the sauce every now and then. But if you take a bite out of a steak,
yeah,
and it doesn't need sauce, it's great. You don't need no sauce. But I'm not saying you can't have the sauce.
Are you a purist with your steak though? Are you a salt, pepper? That's it, or do you do other stuff to season it before you
I season them all types of different ways. So
okay.
Well, this conversation took a culinary turn.
Well, and we should get down to business, but before we do that, just in the interest of asking JVD, what's your temperature you prefer your steak?
Man, okay. There's what I prefer, and then obviously I'm a married man, so it's what the old lady likes.
See, I know those are two separate. I'm talking about you and your ideal world because I feel you on that.
I guess maybe 130. Is that? Yeah, that's what I would guess. So
is that like that's medium rare, or that's like, oh yeah,
I'm a medium rare guy. So
okay, yeah, definitely respect you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're cooking it any more than that, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, who in their right mind says, well done, please?
My wife.
No.
Oh man, she like if we're having one and she won't even watch me eat a steak. She's like, oh, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Now, a buddy of mine, Sanders, man, he just wants it slightly seared and then throw it on the plate. And I'm just like, that's too much.
Oh well, there's also the famous beef tartare people.
Man, he is very close to that. So I mean, it is a godly.
Yeah, see, so there's a really weird fine line, which is medium rare.
So yeah.
Well,
yeah, man, I'm nice and pink in the middle.
Well, I can yes, say sir. That the picnic is over. The table has already been set with plenty of steaks. This is Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. I am here with my co-host, the comic connoisseur, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Oz, what's going on?
What is up, my comic comrades?
And you can find us on Twitter at knee4marvelvsdc. That's the number 4. You can email us at knee4marvelvsdc at godefylife.com. You can also leave us a voicemail, 804-518-6631. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. You can also join our Facebook group, Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC as well. Like and subscribe all our podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. Also find us at the Fi Life Pods. That's the home where all of the Fi Life is. JVD, plug any and everything you got. And then after that, we're definitely going to dive into your latest episode.
Well, I'm JVD, your host of Crossover Collision from The Villains Man. You can find me on Twitter over at villainsman.com. You can go check out The Villains Man over on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to email us about anything, you can check us an email over at thevillainsman@gmail.com. We're all mainly known for our fictional battle podcast, Crossover Collision, where we take two of your favorite characters from fiction, we kind of break them down from the source material, we do a tell of the tape, and then we kind of discuss, combat situations between them. If you listen to me on every episode over here, you already kind of know, and that's actually what we're about to get into, so...
Yeah, no doubt. And Oz, I know it's not that time of the month for you, but go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you on Twitter.
Before I do that, just one question for you, Rich Scott.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
how do you like your steak, sir?
That's
and tell the truth. How you like your steak too?
Why does it matter?
Oh, I think JVD would appreciate it. How do you like?
Do you like shoe leather?
I like a little bit of pink. I like a little bit of pink.
He's lying.
I like a little bit of pink.
He's lying.
I'm not lying.
That dude likes his steak. He likes his steak at least 500 degrees internal.
Oh my God, dude. Come on, man. I don't want. Listen. Why do you think I want to chew gum at dinner? Why would I want to chew gum at dinner when I could have something to chew on and eat? Like, I don't understand the logic.
And that dude is straight up A1 sauce.
Okay, I'll give you that. I definitely don't mind some A1 sauce. I will definitely put some A1 sauce on it. You got me on that one.
Straight up A1.
Hey, no problem with that. With mashed potatoes on the side, give me some greens. Call it a day, and a biscuit.
Like we talking like cheddar biscuit or just regular?
Ooh, I didn't. I didn't. You know what? Yeah, let's get fancy. Give me a few cheddar biscuits.
Yes.
Man, I like to cook. I'll make some cheddar biscuits. I ain't messed up about it.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea, JVD. The cheddar biscuits, great addition to the plate.
Well, after the biscuits have been cooked and eaten, you can find me at Ozzy Real.
Very nice, very nice. And then you can even dip some of that in the chicken grease before you give them the piece. Isn't that right, Oz?
So allow me to set the table with some overcooked steak.
JVD,
I feel like it's about to turn into a food fight.
I know we're taking food shots at each other.
Well, if he ever got a black eye, he would never put one of his steaks on his eyes. Okay.
Oh, all right, there we go. JVD, let's talk about your latest matchup. It's a big one. It's one that's been talked about, debated for a while. And, your episode did a really good job of, while we're talking about it, setting the table. Go ahead and tell everyone about it.
So, we can I do you want to do spoilers here?
That's up to you, actually. I'll leave that up to you.
Well, you've listened to it. I'm not expecting Oz to listen to it. So, give the little spoiler alert.
Okay, spoiler alert.
All right. So, obviously, if you're any type of nerd, you've talked Superman and Goku at some point in your life. Like it's kind of like the be all end all of like debates and nerdom. I mean, I think this has taken the place of like Superman versus Hulk or Superman versus Thor. Goku versus Superman's thing do so. Well, me and Evan the Great came back up in what is this? April 2021. So back in September of 2020, we were kind of talking about like we wanted to do this, but we didn't want to do it like everybody else. We wanted to find some way fair because, we were changing the format of Crossover Collision. So I got doing a little research and I said, hey, here's the thing that's always bothered me about Superman versus Goku is, Dragon Ball ended in the mid-90s and then Superman obviously continued on for another 20 years before we got Dragon Ball Super. I said, so why don't we just take the time frame of the Superman comics because Superman was coming out 4 times a month. There was 4 series. So you're getting a series every week in the early 90s. So I was like, so why don't we just go by those 4 issues and we'll start in 91, the first time Goku goes Super Saiyan. And then we'll cover that all the way into Dragon Ball and we'll cover the Superman books during that time frame. Because therefore that's pretty fair because, I mean, if you look at history, once Dragon Ball really starts coming to the States, there in the late 90s, early 2000s is when Superman really started to get crazy again, much like the classic version where he's like sneezing away galaxies and stuff. Like his heat vision's so ramped up, he's like blowing through multiple planets and all this other crazy crap. Now, not to take anything away from him during the early 90s, he's still stupid powerful and stupid durable, and he's still, his heat vision is no joke, but it's not this crazy thing that we all know and hate about him today. So basically, we took Dragon Ball for 4 years from time Goku very first goes Super Saiyan to the end of Dragon Ball, and then we took those Superman books during that time period, and we drew all the feats, and I number crunched a bunch of stuff Scott can contest since he's listened to the episode, and we discussed the tell the tape based on abilities and put some combat situations out there, which you'll get this coming Friday in part 2 of the episode. And we basically did a 4-hour episode over this.
Yeah, that's what got me at the end. It was about an hour and a half in, hour 45, and I was like, wow, this is I wonder how they're going to do this so quickly. And then you said, bam.
And boom.
Yeah, and it's a great little tease. And like I said, it's a great way to set the table, and I thought it was very important to do that, especially, I'm an anime guy, so for me that was important to establish kind of the rules and the barriers of Goku more so than anyone, because I feel like, once you get to like the, past the Super Saiyan God and all of that, and I feel like that just adds a whole nother element. So I thought you guys did a really good job, even with Superman, because like you said, Superman has some just ridiculous feats, even in the books that you all had to read. Y'all brought up some ridiculous feats that he had, so I thought the parameters were really good, and it's really set up well for this next episode where the battle is really going to begin. So I'm looking forward to it. And I thought the We Get Dub podcast, shout out to those guys, I thought they did a good job of hanging with you and Evan the Great. You guys are tough to hang with and can be a little intimidating, but they did a good job.
Hey man, let me tell you something about Mac East and Jay West. So like we're BSing before we hit record and whatnot. You know protocol. Anybody got any questions? Anything they want to bring up? You guys have been on the show plenty enough times to know. And Jay starts waving around paperwork, and I'm like, Jesus, man, these guys got paperwork. Which they told me they were doing their homework. And shout out to those guys, man. I think it was like the end of January or February this year when I reached out to them. And you've seen my historical breakdowns, of how we used to do things.
Yes.
And that's how I did both of those guys. And then the Goku one was something I've never did, because with Goku, you've listened to the episode, you've got to scale with the Super Saiyans, because you're not getting one Super Saiyan all the time. You're getting between him, Gohan, and Vegeta. And I sent them their paperwork, man, and from there, they just took off with it, man, and they really brought it, man. So, Mac and Jay, if you guys are listening, kudos, man. You guys did an awesome job.
Yeah, no, definitely. Shout out to those guys. They did a really good job. Oz, I know we kind of talked about it off air a little bit. We got into a brief little discussion about it, and you had a couple questions for JVD regarding the Superman Goku battle.
Okay, hold up, Oz. Before you answer me questions, I want to ask you two, much like we discussed on the show. Oz, if you ever listen, I'd like your opinion afterwards. But who do you think wins between the two?
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen, like, subscribe, all the good stuff, because as I train my mind and my body.
Hey, this will train your mind and your body. I kid you not, man. We put some work into this.
No, they definitely did.
You always do. And whenever I've been a guest on the show,
No. Let me tell you. Like, when you and Scott are on, we put some work in. Man, this is above and beyond. Like, I did some real deep digging for this. Because in my mind, what me and Evan want, like, and I know this is far-fetched, but, like, when we brought it and we were talking off air with Mac and Jay, like, we want people to look at this and be like, this is what people should go by. Like, this should be the definitive discussion between these two, and that's what we set out to present, and hopefully it works.
Okay. Regular Scott had posed some good things that I thought about afterwards, but I still am a fan of Superman, so I picked Superman.
Now that's because you're a fan.
Well, well, it's not just a fan or supporter. I guess the word is the guy's power level is literally you can whichever person does him, whatever, but his power levels are off the chart, and just the fact that every cell in his body is a battery cell for solar energy. And I know the life, whatever, Kamehameha, Suka, whatever it's called.
You talking about what you're referring to is what he's referring to is the spirit bomb, how it absorbs life energy.
Right. Yeah. The spirit bomb. Whenever I hear anyone say a spirit bomb, I'm like, is that like vodka, soda, and what? Yeah. So I still pick Superman.
Okay. Well, Ozman, I'm going to lay down the gauntlet. I want you to listen to both these episodes.
Okay.
And then part 2 comes out next week, and see, and then based on what we say, then make a decision.
Okay. Yeah. No. I like regular Scott. I was just like, he may be right, but I still did not want to hear it. But yeah, there are some good points to all of it. I look forward to listening to the show so I can be like, nope, Superman.
Well, you know how we roll, man. Everything is just someone's opinion, man.
Yeah.
None of it's fact. But, man, I try to bring
it but it still sucks. It still sucks because you guys do so much research on it. I know I'm wrong, but I still don't like the fact that I'm wrong.
No, I wouldn't say that you're wrong.
I would.
Oh, of course you would.
When wouldn't you say that I was wrong? Okay, how's that?
Hey, Oz, I will say this, though, Oz. You would have fit right in because there were plenty of dick jokes. And we weren't even talking about Grayson.
Oh, yeah, God.
Oh, yeah, God.
Hey,
Them boys, they love their dick jokes.
It was very funny.
While we're on the subject of the original dick.
Here we go.
Can't get away from it.
There's a little petition that was out. It may be old now, but it was like name Dick Grayson's three-legged dog. And I just thought that's pretty funny because, as regular Scott knows, I have a three-legged dog that looks just like Dick Grayson's dog, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
And you know what that is? That is
karma.
Yes, that is karma for all that trash you've been talking. They're like, "Oh yeah,
so,
let me show you what we gonna do."
So for all our listeners, there are two types of karma. There's the traditional karma where you are suffering through 1,000 lifetimes, whatever. And each lifetime you try and get better to, I guess, get to Buddha. And then there's instant karma, which is just happens to you on a day-to-day basis. And that when I read that, I was like, yeah, that's funny. That's
that one that you're going to see every day. They're like, we're going to make sure, we're going to rub this in your face every day.
Yeah. Oh no! I was like, little Dickie with his three-legged dog. So I gave Nightwing a little bit more props because of that.
No, he doesn't need it, but we appreciate it.
So Scott, let me ask you. You obviously will say Goku, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely on the Goku train.
Of course you are.
Okay, so after listening to episode 1, where we break down just to tell the tape with strength, durability, speed, melee range, we kind of throw the weaknesses out there. How do you feel after the first episode? Who do you think is going to win?
So I still feel the same about Goku, but I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards it's not going to be as one-sided as I thought. I really feel like Goku's techniques just really put him over the top. He has so many and such a variety of techniques. And one thing that he's not giving...
Superman doesn't?
I'm not saying he doesn't, but they're different. They're different kind of techniques. Like, they're just... and they break it down. Like they're just different types. Like, Goku's techniques are more martial arts based and just he knows where to hit you and stuff. Superman's are more just brute strength and just.
But hold on, can we just talk about it though?
Well, after I finish, we can talk about it.
Sure.
And I also just feel like, besides all the techniques that Goku has, every time Goku gets back up and doesn't get killed, he gets stronger. Like that's a natural Saiyan blood thing. So
yeah, like a Superman that died and came back to life.
But he doesn't have to die. Like he doesn't have to die. That's what I'm saying. Like, and
Yeah, but he's got to get fully healed to get that extra power, though.
And I just want to remind everyone here, most people don't need to remind, but I will remind our dear co-host that Superman, I know it was like very funny to do it in the 50s and 60s with the super karate and stuff, but no, Superman actually was like Bruce Wayne took the time to train him in some martial arts, and he took the time himself to learn how to fight.
Yeah, I still wouldn't put him hand to hand with Goku. Like if we're stripping down powers and just doing hand to hand, I don't think he's out. He's not out doing Goku.
You can see how you want to. That's fine. There's just really good points about like little silly things, but also this dude Goku had to get himself into the hyper chamber to make himself super fast. I love that. Where Superman was definitely just born with that. He was born that way. He's like Lady Gaga. Baby, I was born this way.
I don't know what that proves though. To me, that just proves that Goku's a harder worker and is somebody you would want to root for. Because he's worked to get to where he is at being the best martial artist. Whereas Superman is just the guy that was born with these abilities and didn't have to work for anything. To me, all you're doing is just making Goku more sympathetic.
You can have that opinion, but if you even said you watched Invincible, even Omni-Man had a little ode to Superman in that, where he says, spoiler alert, where he says, just because you're born with this doesn't mean you don't have to work for it. That's the same thing for Clark. And here's the other kicker: this dude had to learn how to not crush an egg. How's that? He can hold eggs. Put in your head, Superman can hold an egg. That's just mind blowing to me.
I can hold an egg.
I don't know what's really mind blowing.
But you can't move planets either one of you. So I think it's just something to put there. Not the fact that he can move a planet. That's not the mind blowing thing to me. The fact that he has tuned his body, his whole body to be able to hold a person's hand without crushing every bone, to hold an egg without crushing it every time.
But Goku's had to do that too. Goku had to do that as a child too. But that's what I'm saying. Like all these things there, and if you would listen to the episode, you would also hear that they point out how similar they are. Like Goku had to do all that too. He had to learn how to not crush people with his attacks. Like he holds back he's like Superman. He holds back a lot too. I'm just throwing that out there.
I know.
I never said you were wrong. I never said. I was just pleading the case for Goku.
No. I understand. And as I was pleading the case for Superman, just the only thing I said was it is absolutely mind blowing to me that people don't geek out on this dude who's fought every sort of overpowered beast, planet destroying thing in the world can still have enough dexterity and control over his body to be able to hold an egg. It's just so weak. It blows my mind every time. I was like, that is power duty right there.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is why I don't geek out about Superman, because Superman makes the Justice League pointless. Why do you need the Justice League when one man can do everything? Everything they do, he does by himself.
Yeah, well, no, that's a whole other conversation. I'm just talking about literally just Superman. I'm not talking about it's like going, well, why does he need to be on the planet? He could be anywhere he wants to. That's a whole other thing. I just want to just get back to his power since we're talking about Goku and Superman's power. And I do owe listen, but again, just that kind of fine dexterity and just to me, that's mind blowing to me. That to me is a representation of what true power is.
Well, and that's
not moving planets. Not moving planets.
Well, no, that's
and again, that's just me.
No. I to that point, I want to say after listening to the episode as well, I think that if Goku lets his guard down, which he is known to do, especially if you've seen, I know Dragon Ball Super isn't included in the episode, but if you've seen that. He lets his guard down and gets almost killed, and gets shot through by a basic laser. Because he lets his guard down. So he's known to do that. Superman can lay that dude out with a punch, and there's no doubt about that. And I didn't really think he could lay him out like that, but he can, and especially after listening to the episode, just because I always tend to think that Dragon Ball Z characters are just on a whole nother level than comic book characters. But when you really break it down and scale it and do the numbers and stuff like they did, it really breaks it down, and that's why I said it was really good for somebody like me who, if you just come at me with this question, I'm usually going to tend to the anime side. So I I can't help. I don't know why, and maybe
there's nothing to be wrong with that. That's
and I think it's the animation style, how they present it. They present it as this high speed, high paced, high powered, high impact type offense and defense. Whereas in the comics, it's you see Superman punch somebody, then he makes a quick block, and that's kind of it. You know what I mean? So it's very different in how it's presented, and I think that's why I kind of had that mindset about it.
Well, it's like I said, anime is very over-exaggerated in combat, like in ungodly. And it's like you just put it, I mean, and for one, you're looking at, animation. So you're looking at something in movement compared to a comic book where you actually have to piece your panels together mentally to form a combat in a comic book.
Yeah, no, that's a good point as well.
So, Oz, let me hear some of these questions.
You had questions for him, or did you already kind of go over them?
No, I went over them.
Oh, I didn't know if you had more. I just didn't know if you had more.
No. I like the fact that you guys just always research everything, but I just need to give a listen because I want to. The only thing that kills me about anime is I love the power scales. I love just the characters most of the time. I just hate the fact that most of the time a whole 13 episodes could be reduced down to 3 episodes. So
thank God for Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Well, what was it? How many minutes was Namek? Was it supposed to take for Namek to blow up after Frieza tried to destroy the planet?
5 minutes, but it took like 30 episodes.
It took like 30. It took like a whole season. That was a whole season.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, man. God bless America. That's just too much. Right?
So really, like these 30-minute episodes are really like 2-minute fights at the speeds they're really fighting.
These 30-minute episodes are really like 2-minute episodes.
These regular people watching these fights are seeing like these 2-minute fights, and they're breaking it down for us on the cartoon version in like 30-minute drawn out battles.
I used to watch Dragon Ball Z all the time, but I can tell you this, dude. Whenever I saw anyone, Frieza, Vegeta or Goku about to go Super Saiyan, and he's about to fight this person, I was like, I bet you I could watch 3 episodes later, and he's still fighting this dude.
He's in the same power up. Hey, JVD, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite Dragon Ball Z character? Or who is your favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
Oh, no, that's when me and you are bros, man. Piccolo.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Piccolo dude gets no respect anymore.
Piccolo's the green dude, right?
Yeah, yes. Piccolo's Gohan's real bad.
Real bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Is Piccolo...
Hey, JVD, he about to say something disrespectful. He about to say something disrespectful because I talk about the black dude with the smushed in face.
Yeah, is Piccolo the green dude that got those has those weird bean poles growing out of his forehead?
Come on,
is
man.
that right?
Why are you disrespecting Piccolo?
No,
you don't even like the black dude with the smushed in face from Star Trek.
I love Worf, and his name is Worf. Dude.
Whatever. Oh, you know what? That's a perfect name for somebody with a smushed in face. Worf.
Right.
That's a perfect name for him.
Not to be confused with Piccolo, the name of the buffet restaurant that closed down in the 90s in Richmond, Virginia.
That's Piccadilly's.
See, you know it. And then one more thing for Piccolo. Man, Piccolo, I ain't trying to hate on this dude.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, man, he looked like the Martian Manhunter dude. He looked like the Martian Manhunter and Chameleon Boy from Legion of Superheroes had a love child, and that's what happened.
This is what I got to deal with, JVD, all the time. It's this type of disrespect to my favorite characters.
I tell you, man, and Piccolo's awesome.
He's a great character. He
ain't awesome, dude. He's the one that's like, we know Cell's gonna kill you, but why don't you fight him just until Goku can come up, just until Goku can land on Earth. Okay.
Hey, to me that makes him the real hero because if he's not there to slow everybody down, Dragon Ball Z ends when Raditz shows up.
No, Piccolo's fighting has always been like, oh, here comes 5 episodes that could have been 1.
Nah, not Piccolo. Now, let me tell you this about Piccolo. Piccolo, on the low, has some of the best fight scenes in Dragon Ball Z.
Word.
I mean, the fight scene with Android 17 is a classic.
That's what I was just about
Everybody
to say.
loves that fight scene. Some underrated fight scenes. The fight scene with Raditz, that's a great fight with him and Goku versus Raditz. Piccolo versus second form Frieza, when he shows up after fusing with Nail, that's a great fight scene and really shows off Piccolo's battle IQ. That's a great fight scene. Piccolo, when he fights Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu and beats all 3 of them, it just shows where how Piccolo is just a level above everybody, but just a step below the Saiyans. And that dude has moments all throughout the show where he has to step up, and even his fight with Cell when he fuses with Kami, like all those are just fantastic moments for Piccolo. He's great, dude. He's great.
You sure after I sacrifice myself, you're going to find the rest of those Dragon Balls and bring me back to life, right? No problem, dude. Got your pick. Do your thing.
Got your pick. I would love for one of the characters to call him Pick and see what he did.
Would.
That would be fantastic. No.
I would love for one of the characters to call him Worf.
I hate the name Worf.
Yeah, like
it sounds like every person that plays D&D, it's what they name their barbarian that's dumb. Worf.
Yeah, Piccolo.
Well, Star Trek kind of feeds into our next topic, which is our Killmonger conversation. We're going to go over this, and then we're going to take our first break. So let's go over our Killmonger conversation for this week from our good friend Philip Darnall. And before we do that, Oz, he gave you a rating for last week for how you did with how nice you were to me.
I know, I'm excited.
Oz, he gave you an Iris West with a clown wig.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to interpret that one, Phil. You're gonna have to be a little more descriptive about that, man, because I felt like I worked hard. Actually, I feel like if you gave me the clown wig and the Iris West, that's just telling me for this episode you want me to go hard on this dude and clown him.
He wants you to be a clown this episode.
No,
so I take that.
Clown you.
I take that as the clown wig as a -2, so I'm putting you at a 7.
I think the clown wig just describes the CW shows in general.
Oh.
I think so.
It's a little bit of a shot at the Arrowverse. Well, the Arrowverse is dead, so actually, that's
also,
fine.
He was also saying Black Lightning, and was it Black Girl? I mean,
Batwoman.
Batgirl. Sorry,
Batwoman.
No, Black Woman. Batwoman. Sorry. God, jeez, I always get that so confused.
Black Woman. And you know what's crazy? They just brought Kate Kane back into the show.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I seen they recast her. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they just brought her back into the show too.
They're like, listen, we can't do the Black Girl. We can't get Ruby. What you gonna do?
So are they gonna have 2 Batwomen?
They're like, if Marvel can make everybody forget about Terrence Howard, we can do this too.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
Terrence Howard is like, I will not be forgotten.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
Forgotten?
That actress is no Don Cheadle. Let me put it that way.
Dude.
I don't even know who she is. But it's
I'm telling you, man. Terrence Howard's become one of my favorite Marvel memes. You ever seen that one? It's like, we're at the end of Iron Man. He's like, maybe next time, and it's like last seen online May 3rd, 2008.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, next time, baby.
Next time, baby.
And before we get to the Killmonger, Philip also asked, "What are our plans for Easter, Oz?" So before we get to ours, let's let our guests go first. JV,
yes,
what are your plans for Easter?
Well, this is kind of a very important Easter to me. My daughter just freshly turned 18 months old, so she'll get to hunt eggs and whatnot. So it's just a family barbecue. We're taking all the kids. They're all about between the ages of like 1.5, 2.5. Or I'll just take them to the park. We're going to grill some burgers and some brats and have a little dessert, maybe some, Nutter Butters, and we're going to let the kids hunt eggs. So, and that's what I just got done before I done this was dye eggs with my kid. and then put her to sleep. So not like with a chokehold or anything.
No, very nice, very nice. That's cool. Oz, what about you? What are you doing for Easter?
I'm about to buy some Nutter Butter, man. We're chilling, dude. We took the family. We did a big hike earlier this morning, and I think we're gonna lay low. My child has next week off, so we're just gonna plan to be together and be chill. That's what we do every Easter, pretty much every holiday. We're saving ourselves for a big trip, so.
Okay. Last week, Oz and myself, we went to his parents, my grandparents' house, and, I kind of put together a little pre-Easter get-together, just the kind of way to get everybody together. So we kind of did a little Easter thing then. And this week, I will be going to my wife's family's for a little Easter egg hunt they're doing for the kids. And apparently there's going to be an adult Easter egg hunt, and I'm going to get that money.
Oh, there's money hunts.
Yeah. They apparently they hunt for money, and I'm in that.
Which how much is that? Like dollars?
Hey,
like some hundreds?
Hey, I don't know, but I'm getting it.
Okay.
I'm cheating. I'm gonna cheat.
Well, that's typical.
But as soon as I get there, while everybody's eating, I'm already looking. I'm outside.
Oh, I know.
So how much money are we talking about here?
See, that's what they won't tell nobody. I feel like they're gonna make me do all this work, and it's gonna be like $1.
Nah, man. I feel like you might get some like
you know them a little bit, Oz. So they got they might stack it a little bit.
They may have some deep pockets, and you might get some Visa cards or something.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. They might put a little.
They might hook it with a Starbucks card, man.
I don't even drink coffee. What am I gonna do with that? I don't drink coffee.
Hey, there's more than just coffee at Starbucks, bro.
I don't need to go to
you
Starbucks.
Get pastries, you can get tea.
I'm good. I'll sell it.
You get some delicious bottled water
for like $5.
Yeah, dude. Let me ask you this, Oz. Do you buy water from Starbucks?
Do I buy water from Starbucks?
Yeah. Are you the guy that buys bottled water from Starbucks, or do you just ask for a cup of water?
I don't buy bottled water from anyone.
Okay. No, that's a legit question because you'd be surprised. JVD, what about you?
Wait, hold on. Sorry, JVD, not to interrupt.
No, you did.
But man, my wife about 3 years ago, because she's like straight up crunchy granola, like with edge of like steampunk. She bought this Berkey, and it's made in America, stainless steel, and the filters are graded to filter out everything. It even does craziness like radiation. It's fucking crazy. And she bought those, and that's what we drink out of all the time. And so, and it's just like we fill our water bottles up with that. It's just cheap. It's cool. We are not doomsday preppers, sort of. But
so that's what you cut JVD off to tell everyone?
Dude, I'm just saying about the water thing, man.
All right.
No. This shit filters out radiation.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to send you. There is a list of what it filters, and I was just going, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it probably has gamma rays on there too.
Hey, Bruce Banner.
It probably has gamma rays on there too while we're at it. JVD, are you
so crazy?
JVD, are you a buy bottled water, or you ask for a cup of water?
No, I'm not paying $5 for water. I don't put it this way. I don't even buy anything from Starbucks.
Yeah, I don't either. I have no idea.
I'm not paying $5 for some overpriced coffee.
Oz, are you a coffee guy? I know you're a coffee guy.
I love coffee.
Yeah,
and there's a Starbucks about half a block from, if you can count where I work, a block from where I work at, and I go there.
They know you.
The problem with Starbucks is that out of all the coffees, Starbucks brand of coffee, it's fine, but it always tastes burnt. Like they over roast their beans, And there's so many local breweries. There's so many local coffee bean distilleries here, and there's a couple that I like that I just go, yeah, I'll just do your thing, grind my own beans up and hit the road, son.
But
let me tell you, last year, man, there's this. I've never heard of them. They're called scooters. It's like kind of like Starbucks. So they had opened up, and this is like, I don't know, 1 in the afternoon. Sam's like, "Hey," my wife, she's like, "Why don't you go get some coffee from there?" And I'm like, "All right, well, it's priced just like Starbucks, right?" Jesus, man, I don't think I went to bed till like 4 a.m. after a large coffee there. I felt like I was gonna die.
Heart all pounding and shit.
Yeah, now that was worth $5. I mean, I go to Starbucks, I spend $5. I'm like, oh god, you don't get nothing out of it. But yeah,
except for a stomachache.
Yeah, right.
No. So when I used to live in Anchorage, there was this little coffee place that's called Kick-Ass Coffee. And one of the women I worked with refused to buy coffee there because she was a hardcore Christian and she didn't like the fact that it had ass in the name. So, but their coffee, the girls were always skimpily dressed no matter what season it was, and their coffee was crazy.
It was Hooters for coffee.
It was Hooters for coffee, dude. You're like, now I'm wide awake in all my areas.
Let's read this Killmonger conversation. We'll let it marinate. We'll take a commercial break for the conversation. From DC and Marvel, give 5 each. That will be perfect for a Starfleet. No smushed in black guys. No, he didn't say that. And would you serve on their ships? Hashtag Star Trek rocks. Hashtag Nick needs a Starfleet uniform. Hashtag why can't we all just get along? Hashtag be nice to Dick Grayson. Hashtag leave Oz alone. Hashtag Oz be nice. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Oh, he added a new one.
Yeah, he added that last week too, Oz.
I was so hurt by I didn't even hey Phil, I was so hurt by the last one. I didn't even know that you are a Snyderverse restorer. Yeah. This one's going out for you, Phil, before we take our break. How would you feel about Nick Cage in the Snyder universe? And what character would he play?
Wow.
Superman.
He'd have to be, yeah. I mean, you can't bring Nick Cage in and not have him be an alternate.
It's out
universe.
there.
Yeah,
it's out there. It almost happened.
Yeah.
Hey, restore the Superman Lives version. Restore Superman Lives.
The Burton verse.
The Burton verse. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to let that marinate a little bit. Oz is going to work on trying to restore the Burton verse, and we'll be right back.
Coming to you live from whatever podcast you're currently listening to, it's your boy Jay West with my co-host Mac East from the We Get Dub podcast.
What up, nerds? It's me, Mac East, and we got a badass anime podcast for you. We got hot sauce, we got hot takes, we got booze and banter.
And you can listen to us on all major platforms.
The We Get Dub podcast hits harder than a Goku gut punch.
And we are back. Make sure you check out the We Get Dub podcast. And you can also find them on the Crossover Collision podcast with JVD of The Villains Demand, who is joining us today to not only talk about Kong versus Godzilla, but to find out if he moves on to the championship round against the Nerd Cantina. Oz, you know, I know we're about to do our Killmonger conversation. I just realized that on one side we had the Villains Demand, Hawk the Horrible versus JVD, and Ken from the Nerd Cantina had both picks on the other side of the bracket in the Final Four. He had 2 picks in the Final Four, Dean Winchester versus Vegeta.
Hold up. You know, I picked Vegeta, too. And then you were like, hey, you got to pick somebody not Vegeta.
He picked him first. Well, to be fair, he did pick him first. He did pick him first.
He got to me first.
Yeah, he did get to him first.
He got to me first.
So, but yes, you did pick Vegeta as well. So you technically could have had 2 people in the Final Four as well.
Hey, I almost did. If Saitama would have come over, I would have had 2 people in the Final Four.
He looked like he had a shot. He was doing pretty well at first.
Yeah, he was.
But yeah, so there's a good so it's the Villains Demand versus the Nerd Cantina in the championship in some form or fashion, whether it's Fandom Fusion or Crossover Collision that represents the Villains Demand. Let's get to the Killmonger conversation. Philip asked us to present 5 from each Marvel and DC that we would have for our perfect Starfleet, and if we would join that Starfleet. I know Oz, you said you have all your DC, and that's fine. But we can get all your DC, but let's go one at a time and each give. Well, go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure that what he was saying is we need to pick a captain, a first officer,
yeah,
a science officer, security officer, tactical officer.
Well, we can kind of, I mean, it's our fleet, so we can kind of pick what role they can play.
But hold on, I know we're not talking anime, and you guys are loving Dragon Ball Z, but those are the that's the hierarchy of Star Trek. So you should honor Philip's question.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pick. I'm just going to pick 5 characters because he didn't specifically say that they needed to fill each role. I am going to pick a captain and a first mate, first commander for sure.
First officer.
Look, if we need detail, go over to Phantom Fusion with Hawk the Horrible and Uncle Oz from the Villain's Man, and you'll get your detail on some ships and like comic book characters because you guys went to town.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a nice little plug right there.
So and if you're gonna pick, and that is actually 5. So it's like All
right. Well, captain, let's go ahead and get started. JVD, who would be the captain of your Starfleet?
We going Marvel or DC?
Your choice.
I'm a Marvel guy, so I don't hate on DC, but I'm more of a Marvel guy. I'll start with Marvel first. If I'm looking for someone to captain my ship throughout multiple galaxies, personally, I'm going to go with Beta Ray Bill.
Okay.
Him and Scuttlebutt, they travel the galaxies all the time. He understands how to work with other races, what it takes to defend other races, and what it takes to succeed in ship combat. So,
very nice, Oz. And I guess we could just do, since we're going to do 5 each, I guess we can just combine the DC and Marvel and just pick the 5 out of each, your top 5 from each. Since we're going to give out 15 characters in total anyway. So would he still be your leader if you combined your DC and Marvel list?
No, I'd go Martian Manhunter.
Oh. Okay. So Martian Manhunter it is. Oz, DC and Marvel combined, who would be your captain?
I would have Captain America, Steve Rogers, be my captain, or for DC, it would be Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Since we're combining the two, I obviously you know who I'm gonna go with as my captain. I'm gonna go with Mr. Terrific.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Dupe.
Nah,
he Plastic Man.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Terrific. He's a genius. I figure anything would be easy for him to kind of pick up on and be able to, react very quickly and be able to make split-second decisions, especially since you're going to be traveling intergalactic. He'll be able to pick up on languages very quickly. I just feel like his intelligence would be another weapon. So Mr. Terrific for me. Oz, who would you be your first officer?
First officer would be Dick Grayson.
Really?
For DC and for Marvel, my first officer would be Samuel Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah, shocking, huh?
Yeah, because
Phil. Give me a wig this time.
Hey, there's that's a check by the hashtag Be Nice to Dick Grayson. So there's a check by that.
Mm-hmm.
JVD, who's your first officer?
Marvel. This is where I'll put in Beta Ray Bill, and for DC, I'm gonna go with Green Lantern John Stewart.
Nice pick. Yeah, good pick with John Stewart.
Science officer.
Well, I was gonna give my first officer.
Oh, sorry.
Overachiever, God.
No, it's the 60-minute period. It got me 5 minutes.
So I honestly was going to pick Dick Grayson, but I'll go in a different direction. I'll go in a different direction for my first officer since you picked him, because that is 100% where I was going to go. I'll stick in the Bat family actually. I'll go Tim Drake. As my first officer, because I think you need intelligence at those top 2 positions. And I feel like Tim Drake and Mr. Terrific, between the two of them, I think they could get a lot done and really be able to accomplish a good amount. And for the Marvel side, I'd go with Star-Lord as my first officer.
I mean, you're going with people who are going to be bucking the captain a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a rocky ship, but when the chips are down,
it's going to be a rocky
hey,
ship.
when the chips are down, though, all these people are people you can count on.
Now, but so even okay, I dig it. I dig it.
You know,
okay.
Oz, I know you're the. Well, I know I'm certainly not. What do we need now after the first officer?
Let's do the science officer.
Okay.
That would be the Mr. Spock of the crew.
JVD, where are you going with the science officer?
Well, with Marvel, man, I don't want to go Iron Man. I think that's just too cheap. If I'm going sciences, and I don't want to do Doctor Doom.
That would be cool, though, right?
It would be cool, but man, I'm trying to build like around my team, like people that I know that would work well together.
That won't betray the captain and take over the Starfleet.
No, I'm not. No, that's what Doom will definitely do. If I was going that way, Doom would have just been my captain.
Just to talk to his mother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it'd been like Doom, and then everything else had been a Doom bot. So, but then you don't know who's the captain, and when they at the same time they're like, "Look at me, I'm the captain." They all do it all at the same time.
Look at me, I'm the captain now.
No, it's look at Doom. Doom is captain. I'm gonna go with Beast from Marvel.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's so good. Yeah. That's really smart.
Boy.
That's smart.
And then we're talking science, right? And then I'm gonna go with the Atom from DC.
Oh, damn, that's brilliant.
Thank you.
Really good.
Oz, your science people.
DC, I would do Mr. Terrific for my science guy for DC, and for Marvel, I would do Forge.
Dang, you taking my character though? You can't. Why you gotta jock my style? Really? Did you say Forge?
Oh, Forge. You need Forge because remember, Forge's mutant ability is to make anything.
That's true. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter what the problem was. He's just going to go to work and it'll be fixed.
You're absolutely right.
Or it comes out better.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Okay, for my science people, DC, I'm going with Cyborg, and for Marvel, I'm gonna go with Reed Richards.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go with Reed Richards for Marvel.
Dude, those are two. You both did two super awesome ones.
Obviously Cyborg. I feel like he's. You can't. I feel like if you have a Starfleet and don't have Cyborg on there, you just weren't thinking. I don't know how you could have a Starfleet and not have Cyborg on there.
Well, he's like, but it would be interesting how he would interact with the Borg. If he would take over the Borg, or if the Borg would take over him. That would be a really cool little DC Star Trek crossover because they did a DC they did a Star Trek Green Lantern crossover before.
Yeah.
So that would be a crazy one.
Oz,
that's really cool.
What do we need
and
next?
Actually, he would be part of the ship when you think about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah,
he'd be zooming everywhere.
Oh, he would be like the hologram doctor. He'd be like your navigational. That's just a really smart answer, dude. That's
so
awesome.
would they need to go to light speed and stuff since he could boom tube?
Well, so there was an episode of Star Trek where they can't do warp because every time their chips are doing warp speed.
See, I don't even know Star Trek warp speed. I said light speed.
Well, that's okay. They were causing holes. So Cyborg doing boom tubes would be the natural answer to how to fix the problem, and that would give them a leg up on all their enemies too. That's really kind of smart, dude. That's cool. You guys did really good answers on those. Just want to say.
And I got a couple brothers in there too. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
got a couple brothers in there too. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no females though.
Well, let's do communications.
Okay. Is that the next one?
The next one should be communications officer.
Okay, communications officer. JVD, where are you going with communications?
I am going Rachel Summers, my favorite member of the Summers family.
Totally.
Yes, I love Rachel Summers. With DC, man, communications. Ooh, I don't know who I would pick on that one. I'm trying to think of somebody that would have the capability to. Okay, we're talking communications. Like they're running communications in the ship, right?
Yeah, like think of Uhuru from the old Star Trek series.
Yeah, who ran communications there?
That was her.
Okay, gotcha.
Lieutenant. And I could help you out with that if you want me to.
No.
Come on, you know this DC JVD. You're not a DC dude, but you know this one.
Well, then hand it to me.
Dude, Barbara Gordon would be dope for that, right? Oracle?
Oh, yeah, as Oracle, yeah. I didn't think.
Right?
See, I don't think of her as Oracle all the time. I always think of her as Batgirl.
Yeah, see, I know.
Hey, hold up. Thank you. I'm going to go with Alfred.
Hey, you laugh. That's a good pick, though.
No. I laugh because that is a great one.
Good pick.
Is. That's who really runs the communications for the Bat family.
That's a solid pick. That's a solid pick.
And everybody's getting cucumber sandwiches.
And who did you say for Marvel?
Rachel Summers.
Oz, who you got for communications?
I will just say, even when Rachel Summers had her scars on her face for being a hound, I still was just like, you're still dope. I love that. Yeah, she's just brilliant. Loved her. Still love her. So for Marvel, I'm going to pick Cypher. His mutant ability is to naturally be able to understand any language, and that even means body language. So he's just a natural fit for that.
Even and alien language.
He's an integral part of that.
I love that.
Yeah, he was slept on for so long, but again, Jonathan Hickman. Give him a character, and he'll tweak him out and just like really do justice to him.
Gold balls. There you go,
dude. I like DC. I would still pick Barbara Gordon because I love her Oracle skills. She feels like she'd be a natural fit.
Okay. So for Marvel, I'm going to go with Maria Hill. I think communications. That's just a natural fit for her.
And no one's going to get along with her.
Yeah, nobody. She's gonna eventually try to take over too on the low.
You're right. Yeah.
And on the DC side, this is where the villain in me really starts to show. I'm going with Lex Luthor.
Yep. Word.
I'm going with. And look, he would be great but he's planted something. It's coming, but
or he's just gonna go to an alien and be like, well, the alien said they come in peace, and the alien was like, we want to start a war with you.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, see, my only problem with Maria Hill that you pick, regular Scott, is just that I feel like even in the future, somehow Nick Fury is still around.
Now, in this future, is he still black or is he back to being white?
Dude, he, at this point, he is like, he's got like 3 eyes, and he just he is basically Galactus. Whatever race you are, you see him as that race.
That could be an interesting character. Has there ever been a character like that any race you are, or any type of
Galactus?
So any race you are, that's how you see him.
That's
Every
how you interpret
race sees him different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically in the comics, how we see Galactus is how you, the reader, sees Galactus. Everybody sees him different.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you meant when you said race, I thought you meant like every race, like black people saw him differently, white people saw him how like
that could be that way.
Oh, okay.
JVD, exactly. I feel that he is a manifestation of what your interpretation of this omni power is.
Like when someone says the World Devourer comes in, whatever's in your head when you think World Devourer is probably what you see him as. So if someone said, World Devourer, and you thought Cthulhu, it's probably what he looks like. Godzilla, it's probably what he looks like.
Or the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, or Pee Wee Herman.
Hey, for real, Pee Wee Herman with those type of powers is a scary dude.
Yeah, he's like the craziest looking miracle man you ever want to see.
Oz, I think we need one more character.
Oh, wait, we should do. We could do 2 more, and I think you guys will like this. It's going to be the security officer and tactical officer.
Well, isn't that more than 5?
Well, not if you count your captain.
Oh, so we're not counting the captain.
I don't know. It's your show.
Well, I was asking.
We'll do a combo. We'll combine the tactical and security officer together.
I feel like
well, here's what I was saying. I'd say you do both of them separately, because if your captain is your merger of both worlds, he's there to unite them, then you'd have the other 5 spots.
Okay. So we can. So Oz, you want to do them separate? You have there. So the tactical and the
security officer.
Okay, so
that would be the smushed in black dude.
Oh! Shout out to Worf! Shout out to Worf! Just learned his name.
Worf.
Oz, let's start with you. Let's go with the.
Shout out to Bra.
Let's start with the tactical.
Okay, my tactical for Marvel would be Psylocke, since he has a God-given mutant ability just to be see angles in all things. Great tactician, and then my DC tactical officer would be Tim Drake.
Okay, JVD, what you got?
With DC, I'm taking the Atom's best friend, Hawkman, because they're the most underappreciated duo in DC Comics. Tactical for Marvel. I'm taking Bill's best friend, Thor.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nice. I'm going to be a little cliched here with these picks. For my DC tactical, I'm going with Batman. I feel like he's going to lay out the best plans, and he'll be able to keep an eye on Lex Luthor while he's there. For Marvel, I'm going to go with Cyclops as my tactical guy.
Because I make good decisions. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it was between either him or Captain America. Those are two of the better tactical people you can choose. So I'm gonna go with Cyclops, even though I feel like that's a very low ranking for him. Like I feel like he should never be below a first commander. But
Taskmaster.
Yeah.
No, I think Scott's perfect. I was actually going to go with Scott, but I was already building an X-Men roster there, and I didn't want to. So
you should have. Yeah, I mean, he's a good pick. He fits that role perfectly.
I think he'd be great for that, and he would like be he bucks the system too, dude.
Yeah, this could be a lot of there'd be a lot of fights on this ship.
Well, that's why you need a strong commander. That's why you need a good commander for that.
No doubt. What do we need? What's our last one? I'm sorry.
Last and finest is security.
Okay, JVD, where are you going with security?
All right, with security, I'm trying to stay away from X-Men, but I can't. So I'm going to go with Phantom X.
That's awesome.
Dude, I love Phantom X. Dude he is so underrated.
No props.
Yeah, so underrated. And then with DC on security, man, this is where I want to say Batman, but I don't want to say Batman. I'm trying not to go with the obvious picks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what? I am going to go with Adam Strange.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, real quick, JVD, will you just give everybody just like what are the powers of oh God, I just lost his name.
Phantom X?
Yeah.
Man, that could take a while. That is one of the most complex characters that I've ever seen. Like, really.
He's always been a mystery to me, dude. I just
that's the beauty of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a psychic, but is he a psychic when you add Eva in? Is it Eva doing the work, or is it him doing work? Like, he's a very complex character, very cool character. The one character that can wear all white and really look super cool doing it. So
I know. With a mask, he looks like Snake Eyes.
Storm Shadow.
Oh, dude, he's more of a Storm Shadow with all the white on, and yes.
He's like Storm Shadow and Snake Plissken all rolled in one.
That's dope.
So,
regular Scott.
No, I'm still here. I'm just learning. That's all. Just paying attention and learning. My picks are definitely going to pale in comparison.
Of course they are. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Phil.
So for my Marvel, I'm going with somebody I really dislike, somebody I don't like. But you gotta pick what's best for the job. And if you want to talk about button heads, this person is certainly not gonna like not being the captain of the ship. I'm going with Captain Marvel.
Female Captain Marvel?
That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
For my security. I don't know how you can be more secure than with Captain Marvel flying around your ship.
To be fair, she did let Hydra take over the world.
Yeah.
Hey,
and put a giant dome around the world.
We'll let bygones be bygones. So this is a fresh start.
I'm just saying.
Listen, it's already hard enough me picking her to be on the squad.
No,
hey,
it's cool.
I'm not hating on her, man. I love Carol Danvers. She's like my favorite female character. So
yeah, she used to do. I used to like when she was before she was depowered by Rogue. She would take like a Susan B. Anthony coin and throw it, and like at super speed, and it would like just tear through stuff. That was just she was pretty dope, dude.
As far as the DC side, I don't really know where I would go DC wise. I don't know if I would go with somebody kind of in the ship running the security of what's going on outside. Because if I was doing that, I would go with like a Black Canary. Somebody who I know could really run things and really stand up to anybody if anything was going wrong. She could, hold her ground, and you don't have to worry about her. If she needed to get hand to hand, she could do that with anybody. The more I think about it, I think I will go with Black Canary for my security and feel really secured.
Secured. Don't be scared. I think for my my Marvel pick, I'm sorry, my choice is either Shuri or Wolverine. I feel like they would be very good with making things secure.
Secured.
And then and then for my DC pick, I would pick Regular Scott. Once again, Lady Shiva.
I don't know if you're trolling me or it's like you're trying to get a reaction out of me by picking my peoples and stuff. Like, you picked Dick Grayson. Didn't you pick Mr. Terrific?
Yeah, is that okay?
Mr. Terrific. And then you picked Lady Shiva, too?
Yeah, dude.
What are you doing?
But here's the thing. You didn't even pick Lady Shiva. I was like over here. Like,
JVD. I did not make one single comment. I just waited for him to finish. He didn't even think about her, dude. Didn't even think about her. I ain't trolling you.
I ain't trolling you. This dude had the nerve to bookend his five people. He started with Dick Grayson as his first commander, and he ended with Lady Shiva. How disrespectful!
I straight up did a Stevie Wonder signed, sealed, delivered.
I'm yours. Yep. All right. Yeah. So there's that, Philip. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate it.
That was a great one, Phil. That was a really good one. Thank you.
That was a good question. All right. Let's get to the Final Four, gentlemen. Let's find out who is advancing to the championship. Oz, you a couple weeks ago, you went 7-1 in our Elite 8 picks.
I was on fire.
Or the Sweet 16 picks. I'm sorry, the Sweet 16 picks. And then last week, you went 1-3 on the Final Four. So Oz, you only have to pick 2 this time. So all you gotta do is get 1 right. You can be 50-50.
That's right.
All right. So here we go. Our first matchup, representing the movie region and JVD's pick to. No, I'm sorry, not JVD's pick. This is Hawk the Horrible's pick. Out of the movie region, John Wick, the number 1 seed, taking on 2 seed and JVD's pick, representing the comic book region, Captain America. Oz, who do you think the people chose?
Can you imagine that fight?
Be a great fight. Well, I don't know. I don't know how long it would last. If John Wick doesn't snipe him or get him early, he's not going to last long hand to hand if he gets close.
Hey, hold up. Look. If Batroc the Leaper can hold his own briefly against Captain America without being crazy superpowered in the MCU, I think Wick can. Now, he might get stomped once Cap takes him serious.
Yeah, that's what I think would happen. I think he'd start taking him serious and then just, all right, dude. Well, what you think?
Yeah.
What do you think the people chose?
Captain America.
With 62% of the vote, Captain America moves on. JVD is moving on to the championship.
Hey, I just want to say, I run a comic book podcast. I'm very proud to say that I pulled out the comic book part of the bracket.
That's right. Respect due.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was pretty. John Wick had been dominating a lot of people. He beat some tough matchups, and Captain America came out and handily beat him. And he had some tough matchups himself on the way. So this was a good one.
Steve Rogers said, "Son, you've been killing too many people."
Now, I just want to say, John Wick would have not made it this far if Darth Vader would have not got screwed over by Ricky Bobby.
Hey, you know whose fault that is.
Tell me whose fault it is.
I warned Oz, called my bluff. I told Oz if he picked Ricky Bobby, that Darth Vader was going home early. And he called
Why am I the blame for this?
Because I told you that.
So now that I'm here, Oz, why do you got to do me like that,
dude, hold on. Wait, see, I can't say anything because then Phil's gonna give me an Irish West with like.
No, you're not gonna get an Irish West. Phil gonna give you an MGK.
He'll give me MGK with a clown wig, and it's on a T-shirt that just says, "This is my real hair." So. Yeah, I can't say anything.
When that happened, I was giving you a Guardian with Jack's arms.
Ooh.
Finish him.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. You guys were hurting me, man. Did you drive the knife any deeper in my back?
Man.
Well, it all worked out in the end.
See, we were having a good show until you had to bring that up, dude. What's up with that, man? What's wrong with you?
Hey, no, he is right. It worked out in the end. We represented one side of the bracket in the finals, so.
Yeah, it's Villains the Man, and the Crossover Collision podcast makes it out of the Villains the Man Final Four portion.
Justice for Vader.
Now we move on to the Nerd Cantina portion.
Hashtag Justice for Vader.
Where
People would be like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? What did he do? Where Ken picked.
What did Vader do now?
Where Ken picked both Dean Winchester an 11 seed and Vegeta a 1 seed. Oz, Vegeta and Dean have both been kind of dominating. Who do you think the people chose?
Oh, Jesus. I hope they chose Vegeta.
With 51% of the vote, it was a tight one. 51% of the vote, and overwhelmingly on Facebook. Dean Winchester moves on to the championship to take on Captain America.
Well, it's Dean.
Yes, it is chiseled face Dean Winchester.
It's Dean wishes he was Captain America, but he didn't get that role.
And shout out to Dean Winchester, who will be voicing Batman in the Long Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah, so Dean Winchester moves on. It'll be Dean Winchester taking on Captain America to be crowned the Character Madness champion.
The only reason I said Vegeta was just to try and give you boys some props, but apparently I should have went with my gut and knew that Vegeta didn't have the stuff.
Well, Scott did say Dean was going to take it on Facebook. So.
Yeah, I already. Nerd Cantina has been pushing them hard, and they get a lot of votes from the Nerd Cantina over there. So I knew if it was close, even if Vegeta would have pulled it out with 51%, the Facebook would have took him over the top.
Hey, I'm just saying, I've made it this far without promoting myself at all.
All right. I have to ask, and I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody, but you guys have mentioned this several times on the show. What is Facebook?
Yeah. Oz, I do want to bring up one thing while we're talking about the tournament before we get to Kong versus Godzilla, our main event.
Okay, here we go.
We didn't pick one character in the Final Four, and if I look at the bracket, we didn't pick one character. No, we picked one character in the Elite Eight.
That's not a problem. It just is it's actually a testament to how much that we are fans of our. We suck.
Sounds like justice for Darth Vader to me.
And as I continue looking back, we only had 3 people in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, but if we would have did the Sweet 64, we would have had at least 2 people in.
Hey, if justice would have been served in the opening round, it'd only been 2. So.
Ricky Bobby.
Well, I think anyone who listens to this show knew, no matter who Nightwing was going against, he was moving on.
Yeah, Nightwing him and his 3-legged dog could fight anybody. Could fight Galactus, and Nightwing wins.
Yeah, until he ran into Superman. He wasn't beating Superman.
Yeah, who do you think Nightwing sees when he sees Galactus?
He probably sees you. So he probably just sees you coming down.
You understand that's not an insult. That's actually a compliment to me.
I guess.
He sees a broken trapeze line.
Oh, dang.
Oh, dang. That went dark quick, dude.
Yeah. I like that.
I was going to say he sees like a giant canary or a giant robin bird or something. But dang.
No, he does, but it has the broken trapeze line in its mouth.
He sees a giant pair of green booty shorts, is what it is.
he sees Starfire.
No, he sees Batman having sex with Barbara Gordon on the rooftop.
And Starfire.
Little dude, the deleted extended version shows Starfire later came and Batman had sex with her on the rooftop.
Listen to me. Both of them at the same time.
Oh,
and
wow.
Grayson's like, seriously? And Alfred's like, I told Master Wayne not to do.
He's getting it like American Psycho style, right?
Exactly.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. So our championship is set. It'll be the Villains Demand taking on the Nerd Cantina, Captain America taking on Dean Winchester, and whoever wins will be getting a T-shirt of our new logo. Really excited about those new logos.
Seriously, Dean Winchester.
Hey, Dean's in the championship, man. What can we say? I mean,
they gonna pump that hard, Dean. Dude.
Hey! Let me tell you something. Their little traveling con for Supernatural proves just how diehard their fans have.
I know.
It's like $700 just to go for like 3 days, and then like to meet anybody is like an ungodly amount of money. And it was supposed to be at Nashville last year, but thank God coronavirus shut that shit show down. But I was like, people are buying this, and like it was set up to sell out. And I was just so surprised at that. But that just shows you how diehard their fans are.
Dude, people have been digging that show for over a decade.
Yeah, right.
No doubt. All right.
That show should have literally just been one episode.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I will be surprised if Captain America pulls it out.
I'm telling you, I will be very, very surprised.
I think this is the right month for Captain America right now.
Just because of the Falcon?
Yeah, because of the TV show. I think it's getting a big boost from that. Dean's a very popular character, but I don't know, man. This is going to be, again, if this comes down to Facebook, Dean's going to win. If it's close at all, Dean's going to win because Facebook's just going to push him over the top. Captain America's got to dominate on Twitter. So, all right, so you have that to look forward to. All the voting will be done on Facebook and Twitter, or our stories. You can leave a comment, or you can vote on Twitter as well. Guys, it's time for the main event. Let's talk a little Kong versus Godzilla. This was the big movie that came out. A lot of hype behind it. A lot of the trailers did a real good job. A lot of momentum was built. And, before we dive into the movie, let's give our rankings. We have our ranking scale. We have the tippy top, which Oz got, but he got a clown wig on it, but is the Iris West, the lovely, the beautiful Iris West. After that, we have the legendary, quote-unquote, MGK, which is a solid 6. Under that, we have Guardian for now. Or I'm sorry, we have Jar Jar Binks. Under that, self-explanatory. Then at the bottom, we have the Guardian for now. He might turn into Jax after Mortal Kombat comes out. And, he's there. If you've ever seen Supergirl and seen the Guardian, there you go. He's where he belongs. I mean, that's pretty much all I can say about that guy and that character on the show. I don't.
Black Jimmy.
Black. So, why can't Jimmy Olsen be white? Leave that dude white. All right, that's another story.
Like he arrives over,
just let that guy be
looks
white,
at Supergirl and goes, "Yeah, they have a little flirtation for one episode." Then he's like, then Supergirl's like, "I think I kind of like Mon-El."
Yeah, that's ridiculous. All right, JVD, let's start with you. What do you give Kong versus Godzilla before we dive into the spoilers?
Okay. Well, if anybody knows anything about me, like, I live for these movies. Like, for me, it's like kaiju movies and comics run side by side. We just did Kong versus Godzilla based on the MonsterVerse last week on Crossover Collision.
Yes, you did.
And then I was over on 4 Nerds by Nerds when I did commentary on Godzilla King of the Monsters. So, and that kind of just shows how much I love these movies. For me, this is a solid Iris West for me. For sure. I love this movie. There's very little that I could pick on about it. And there were some questions that I had that as a fan, based in like lore and some of the characters and some of the stuff that's been built up on the past, it wasn't enough for me to slap the Infinity Gauntlet, but it's a solid Iris West for me. Okay.
Oz, what are you ranking Kong versus Godzilla? And let me throw this out there. If you do need, JVD didn't need to add anything, but if you do need to add something, we are going to add Kong's battle axe.
Ooh, the Godzilla dorsal spine. Awesome.
Yes.
I would give it an MGK with I would give it MGK with maybe the dorsal axe. I have some questions too. I have some questions. That's why I would give it an MGK with a dorsal axe.
Okay. I'm kind of like, I want to give it like a 7.5. Like, I'm almost at an 8. I know this isn't about the humans, and I get that. And the monsters part was great, even though as a wrestling dude, it just kind of, this just felt so, I don't know. I'm gonna also give it an MGK with the battle axe as well. I thought it was a solid, but with a little extra on top, maybe give him maybe add a mechanical, a Mech Godzilla tail to it as well to give it that other half it needs. Because I think it's like a 7.5, because I think there are some really stupid human decisions that are made, especially with children's lives, which is, again, I know that's not about the humans, but if you're going to put a kid into it and you're going to make stupid decisions, you're going to get called out for it. But I thought it was a really good movie. I'm nitpicking when I say that, so yeah, I give it an MGK with the battle axe.
Actually, you kind of are, because in every kaiju movie, kids and parents make stupid decisions all the time. It is like commonplace. So
it's like one of the common. It's like a horror movie trope, except in the monster movies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that we've given our rankings out, let's go ahead and have ourselves a full blown conversation. Spoiler alerts from here on out. Everything we talk about is just going to be open for discussion. So here we go, fellas. Oz, you said you got questions.
No, I have. I'm just going to sit back and listen, but I have a couple inquiries that I just want to throw out real quick. Like, the things that came to me was like, how was that dorsal fin found? Was it Godzilla's dorsal fin, or was it just maybe another?
It was creature? An ancestor.
Yeah, and then I kept thinking to myself, man, I feel like Godzilla is a female. For some reason, I don't know why. I just kept going, man. I got that impression, and the fight scenes were cool, but I just got mad when Kong kept getting worked. But I get it. I get it.
Hey, I don't care what nobody say. Kong took that L at the end. He took the final L between those two.
Yeah, but so the whole thing got crazy because I was just like, oh, he got deep. So once the power stopped, then Kong was like, I'm ready. But yo, man, the Met Godzilla was pulling some wrestling moves on Godzilla. It was crazy, I went. It was wild, but I'm gonna let JVD the expert chime in. But yo, I had a lot of questions because also I was going, man, Kong. I would just like to see another more of the Kong race. I know they're both the last. They're great ones, but my last one, and I mean my last one, I'll just sit back and listen. Is this when they were down in Hollow Earth and Kong was where his throne was? Man, the scope of what you saw, a human. That was just overwhelming to me. It was just like, it was larger than life for Kong for a human. That was crazy. That was wild. So that was really done well. So
that was one of the things I was kind of like, what is going on? Like, did his race build that?
Right, dude.
But yet it was almost like it was territory. It's almost like every monster came there to fight over that because it's basically the energy source of all the kaiju is what they're kind of saying at. So,
well, hey, JVD, and for you, did you see? Was it like a line of different weapons when he placed the axe?
Yeah, there was a bunch of other axes.
Right, dude. So this has been going on forever and ever. But man, you saw bones of every creature.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a lot of history there that needs to be explored, especially as a fan of Godzilla and Kong and whatnot. And there's a lot, and there's a possibility it might be a couple days after this drops. When is this dropping? Monday, right?
No, this will drop Sunday. I usually just don't promote it till
the
Monday.
4th. Okay, so like the 6th, there's 2 graphic novels. There's one for Kong and one for Godzilla that drops Tuesday or Wednesday, which will kind of explain a lot of this stuff. Yeah, that's a bad thing about these movies is there's graphic novels that take place within these. There's a Godzilla one that takes place during like World War II, and then like all the way up until maybe before the start of like Vietnam. And then there's a Kong one that takes place after the Skull Island movie. And then there's another Godzilla one that takes place after Godzilla 2014, which kind of leads into King of the Monsters. So they kind of give you some background information about stuff.
Well, there's a Kong one too that shows like when Kong was super, super young and his parents and everything.
Yeah, he gets the Batman treatment.
Yeah.
So but,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Scott.
Well, I was just gonna say it was very interesting watching kind of Godzilla sensing what was going on kind of from the beginning and being portrayed as the villain and really feeding into it. And I like how they did a really good job of making Kong a very sympathetic figure early on in the movie. With one simple gesture, and that was him saying home. Him saying he wanted to go home was all it took to make Kong a sympathetic figure because he's like, he don't want to be there. He know what's going on, too. So I thought they did a really good job of establishing roles. As a wrestling guy, to me, it's very important to establish your good guys and your bad guys. And I thought they did a good job with that. So you knew who to root for, at least at the time.
My God, they capture that dude all the time, though.
Yeah, I feel like Kong is a pretty easy guy to catch.
Well, because he's so human. They really try to make him be like, he's the human in this movie.
Yeah,
that's one problem I had. I wish they would have showed you how they caught him.
Yeah.
Because he was knocked out on that thing, too.
Yeah, because they show you that they're doping him up. Like there's a monitor on the ship, and they show you it's like they're doping him up to like 88% of what the dosage is they need to knock him out at. So that's what I wish they would have showed.
I'm sure it had to do with the little girl.
So then he was always fighting kind of like groggy then.
So yeah, during the ship, until like adrenaline hit him.
The end was I'll give you the first one. He was definitely fighting groggy on the first one, and Godzilla had an advantage. And the second one, he showed that because he kind of handed Godzilla his tail. But that third one, I thought they were pretty. It was a pretty mono-y
Godzilla was scraping him up, man. He was like Godzilla was just like.
No, Kong got him that second time. Kong got him that second time.
Yeah, Kong knocked him out the second fight.
Kong got him
when
the
he come
second
up out
time.
of the core of the earth. Yeah, he knocked him out.
Yeah, he got it. But the third one, I'm giving if it's going to the judges and I'm doing a scorecard, I'm giving that third round to Godzilla.
Godzilla kind of did it every round to me.
Well, here's how the fight played out, and we were talking about a crossover collision. This is much like Superman versus Batman, where Godzilla is Superman with all the superpowers.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just Kong with his intelligence and his skill. And as each fight goes on, he gets better and better at fighting Godzilla. So it's like prep time in a way.
Yeah, that axe was very handy.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Kong was pretty impressive doing some of those moves he was doing to Godzilla. Godzilla just was not mobile enough to keep up with him, but Kong was moving, boy. I give you that. It looked great. Like, the movie looked great. Like, this is something I might have to go back and watch in theaters.
Yeah. Oh, I went and watched it in theater. I watched it on a deluxe screen because I live in small town America, so we don't have a lot of the people to worry about, and it was really nice to see on a giant screen because that's the way you got to watch those movies.
Yeah.
But, what did you guys think about the GoPro shots that they had in the movie? Like when Kong's on the ship during the water battle and the jet takes off and it's like there's a GoPro in front of the jet and you watch it take off and Kong in the background, or like when Godzilla fell over, it's like the GoPro fell over with him. Yeah, I like that. I thought those were pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a nice different look. It's a different angle, and it's cool to see that perspective of it. To see this huge, it's a good call, JVD. To see this huge monster behind that can just reach up and catch you, no matter how fast you're going, no matter how quickly you think you can get away. He's still there. Yeah, it's a great call in that shot.
Hey, I'll tell you something. On our episode of Crossover Collision, there was something that happened in that movie that's not happening in any of the other movies and books, and Evan the Great called it. And he said, I wonder what would happen if Godzilla was able to grapple him and hold him with his tail. And it happened in the movie because he about drowned him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen the tail really be that. I don't know if elastic is the right word, but that kind of flexible.
You are correct. Yes.
Or,
that's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah, I've never seen it like that because usually it just seems like it's so stiff and it's just more of like a battering ram than a weapon.
Well, he's in his element though.
Yes.
He's in the water and he's like his scaly body is more like fluid and he's in his element. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, that could be true too. That could be a good part of good part of the reason why he was able to do it was that he was mostly in water and underwater, and that's why maybe his tail was more flexible. Because if I don't recall him doing anything like that on land.
No.
Yeah, you should see what he looks like when he's on land. He looks like he's very dried out. Very like his skin, like he's like truly
like it hardens.
He's truly a titan. Like when he's on land, his skin hardens to protect him. When he's in the water, his skin kind of loosens so he can totally be able to be moved. It was interesting to me.
Well, his tail's almost the length of his entire body from his hips up to his head. So it's cool if you think about it, the way he grappled with that tail, because after that, when we see him fight the I think they called them warbats, like the giant snakes with wings. What did they do? They grappled him up with their serpentine-type bodies. If you go back to Skull Island when he fought the Skull Crawler, it was using its tail to wrap around him and his arms to hold him down. So it's almost like Kong's weakness.
Yeah, because that one, he used his wing to try and suffocate him.
Yeah, after it had him grappled and whatnot.
So Kong,
nice little callback to 76 Kong.
Well, I will also give you this. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Kong got that Wonder Woman weakness of bondage.
Well,
there you go. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you this too. That so Godzilla's tail is almost as long as his body is, but it also makes sense because he is an amphibious reptile. Because the tail also helps him swim too and move in the ocean.
And it keeps his balance.
It's like a rudder, yeah.
What did you guys think about, while we're talking about some of the fight scenes, what did you think about the team up at the end? Godzilla and King Kong tag teaming against Godzilla. And might I say, the chemistry they had was flawless. They make a great tag team.
Can I tell you what that chemistry was? It was the chemistry of Hobbs and Shaw. Hey, okay, brother, I'll take one for you if you take one for me.
Well, you got to think at that time they had already fought each other 3 times, so they should know. You know.
I mean, you're right, but they were moving like they had been fighting together. Like this wasn't their first rodeo fighting together. They were. It was great. It was flawless.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to see, in my own stupid world, my $1 million idea would be, I would love to see a prequel to this, which is set like 1 million years ago, where Godzilla's race and King Kong's race actually had to fight together against a common enemy, and then everything broke down from there.
See, I would not be surprised by that, because they chalk them up as like they're the 2 alphas in the world, like their races. So I think it would make sense if that was to happen.
Yeah, and then they fight together for NSYNC. Yeah.
JVD.
So
go ahead. No, please go ahead.
So see, it's like here's my thing, and there's something that I was kind of poking around at looking at this, because they were trying to take Kong to the Hollow Earth, which was Antarctica, right? Mm-hmm. They got me thinking, maybe that's where Ghidorah was trying to go when he was frozen, was to the Hollow Earth, because he was frozen in Antarctica with a battle against Godzilla. It would make a lot of sense that back then, if there was a Kong there, to help him do that. So I can see in that type of situation, maybe back in the day, if there was a Kong around to help him fight a Ghidorah, which basically that's what Mechagodzilla was. It was Ghidorah. I don't know if you guys caught on to that.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, think about it. The skull, because they had the skull, they were using. They mentioned that the heads communicate telepathically. So
right.
Serizawa's son, the guy who had died in the second Godzilla, he was telepathically linked to the skull and using the skull to control the head that they had in the Mechagodzilla. And to me, when it broke free, it was acting like its own independent monster, like it was Ghidorah. Because think about it, it was using its arms almost like its other heads.
Oh, okay.
So that's just kind of how I took that. Because Bernie, the black conspiracy guy, I love his character. I thought he was awesome. But he explained that when they come across the skull, he said, "Yeah, the other head is in the robot," and that's how he was controlling it.
Oh,
yeah. And what's cool? This is funny. This is a kaiju thing. Have you ever seen the meme that someone drew, and it's like the 2 Ghidorah heads that look all scary, looking at the derpy one?
Yeah.
Seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. They do it for like Superman. Like Superman and Man of Steel, Superman and Batman vs. Superman, and Superman and Justice League.
Yeah. Well, in that meme, and if you pay attention in King of the Monsters, the head on the left is actually, all the heads have names. Well, the kaiju community dubbed the left one Kevin because he's the stupid head. You watch the movies, he's the head that they all pick on. The other 2 pick on him. Like every time, like he's trying to eat a person, they get mad at him. It's the head that Godzilla rips off in the ocean. So I assume that's the skull that they have. And it would make sense to me that the Ghidorah head in the machine, since it hates Kevin, it makes sense that it would break away from him and not want him to give it commands and become its own monster.
That's great.
That's just how I took it. I thought if that's the case, I find that very funny.
So, what happened to the third head? Oh, sorry, there are only 2 heads. But
there's 3. Remember, they all got destroyed when he went all like super nuclear Mothra and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Did the third head get totally obliterated?
See, that's the one thing I don't get, because they show that he obliterates 2 heads when he does his first pulse, and then there's the last head, which he has in his mouth at the end of the movie. And the only head that was left alive was the one in the Gulf that he ripped off. So I don't know where they got the idea that there was another head, or or skull. So I'm not really
Right.
sure. They could have found a skull somewhere else. I'm not really sure.
You probably
That was the
found it
only
on
part.
Skull Island.
So, well, that was one thing, guys. You know how they were talking about the storm was like eating up at the island and getting bigger, like consuming the island. I was wondering if Ghidorah superstorm that it creates when it like travels had messed up the superstorm on the island, and that's why it was going bonkers there.
Well, they obviously are going to. They're doing research, and the last shot was them staying on that hollow Earth.
Yeah,
You know.
So I'm assuming
It's
that the
very
island
interesting.
is like going to be uninhabitable.
Wow.
I think that this probably has to be the easiest paycheck that Millie Bobby Brown has gotten in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because she was pretty useless in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have someone to tell the narrative. So,
I guess she was just there to me.
uh,
Oh, but hey, happy for her. Get a paycheck. This is
Well,
what
she-
I mean. Like the humans were just. Why even have the humans in them if you're just going to make them pointless?
I know. It's just like the dad and her, and I was like, "Good God."
yeah, this is the one movie where, most of the other characters are kind of useless unless they're tied to Kong.
Yeah, right. Now,
So-
that group, I completely understand them being in the movie and them kind of being like the focal point of the movie. But like, I felt like that other storyline with the Mech Godzilla, like, what did they really accomplish?
Oh no, yeah, it was just.
I mean, at the end of the day, what did those three really do besides find
That
out
was-
for themselves?
that was just
they
part of the fun.
actually saved the day. They stopped the Mechagodzilla with liquor.
Oh well,
Single
yeah,
malt liquor.
you're right. He did pour
Which
the
was
liquor in there.
Stupid. Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
it was just comic relief. That's all it was. And yeah, the only thing I remember about all those characters was just like basically she put her hair in a hairband and started driving.
And then she drove off, and the dude was trying to get in, and she drove off.
Yeah, I was like, "What's going on here?" Okay,
My man's
all right,
like,
cool.
"Yo, I don't want to die, but I want to go with you because we friends, but I don't want to die today. But if you're gonna take my mom's van, I gotta go."
Yeah, yo, let me tell you something, man. The humans have been exploiting the shit out of like all the Mylans.
Well, here's the thing. Like their storyline, Bernie, I don't think they were needed because Bernie was already on to something anyways. He could have did all of that himself. They only snuck into Apex because he had escaped it and already knew the way to get out because that's the way he got out. So he knew how to get back in. So
Yeah,
it's not like
agree
they
with
really
that.
need him.
They could have cut them too. They could have cut him. One thing I do wonder, I wondered this actually when I saw him in Tarzan. Why is Alexander Skarsgård? I believe that's Alexander Skarsgård. I believe that's the right Skarsgård.
I think you're right.
Why is he not just in like kind of more action stuff? Like I feel like he's pretty natural in this action role, even though he was a little bit more gullible in this one. I feel like if he wanted to be more serious and more kind of gritty, he could be. But I wonder why he's not in more of these kind of roles. He's more.
Maybe he's tired of doing it.
Well, he's always. Well, I don't ever remember seeing him any besides Tarzan. All I remember seeing him in is like the abusive husband.
He's been forever in the Southern Gothic Tales, which is True Blood. Sorry, I was given the actual title of the books, but no, dude, he was forever in True Blood, and then
Is that an action show? I mean, I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
He played a sucking vampire for seasons, and then he also played an action role when he played this movie on Netflix called Mute. So maybe he's just tired of doing that.
But that's
You
not.
never know.
I'm talking blockbusters. I'm talking like blockbuster movies. Like this Kong versus Godzilla is a blockbuster movie. Mute's not a blockbuster.
I will say maybe they tried Tarzan and was like, no more. You just never know. But he's done his thing.
I'm looking through his filmography. I see he was in Battleship, which is a
That probably
blockbuster.
killed him right there.
That probably did hurt him. He was in Straw Dogs, which is a good movie. That's a good movie though. But I don't see a lot of. He's in a lot of military stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think that what it was is his career kind of went backwards because I couldn't tell you what he did before True Blood.
Right.
And then when he hit True Blood, man, he peaked really hard during True Blood. And then he went into movies and he kind of fell off. Because think about everybody else on that show. What are they doing?
They're not doing
Nothing.
Rogue was like, all right, I'm over it.
Well, the Pitch Perfect chick, she's got a TV show.
Who?
The Pitch Perfect. One of the girls is. I know one of the girls is in it. Is in Pitch Perfect.
From True Blood?
Yeah. One of the blondes.
What?
I'm 100% sure about it. 100% sure.
Well, I just know what her face was Rogue, and that's it.
I know Rogue.
Anna Paquin?
Yeah, her, Skarsgård, and the Pitch Perfect girl.
Okay.
Well, I know that Deborah Ann Woll that played Jessica in that movie. Ooh, man,
oh yeah.
Broken. Well, she went on to do Daredevil. She was Karen Page.
Yeah.
I mean, and she would probably still be Karen Page today if that would have never got canceled. Who says she doesn't come back and play Karen Page?
She was great.
Other than that, she runs a D&D podcast.
Oh, that's right up your alley, JVD.
Oh, you're damn right it is.
Yeah, that's right up your alley.
So I mean, what you look at everybody in that movie, what have they done after True Blood? Not a whole lot. Now he's probably done the most out of everybody.
Well, he's done good for like
really
TV series. He was in the True Lies or Big Little Lies, which is a pretty big series on HBO, and he's always playing like this abusive husband every time I see him now on TV shows.
Well,
but it's an HBO show. He was already established with HBO by then.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's a lot to be on that to be on those shows for season after season.
Yeah.
So, that's a grind.
No, I agree. I agree with all that.
I mean, because really, if you think about it, like he did True Blood and his career dropped off, and then his brother come out of nowhere and his career picked up.
And it helped with that too.
Yeah, because I mean, man, and he's always going to be known for that. And then he was in, what was the Hulu show, the Stephen King show, Castle Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he was in that, and that's pretty popular.
And then we had a nice little cameo from a man from The Wire and John Wick. That's Lance Reddick. I had to look his name up. That's the black guy without the smushed in face, Oz.
You're right. Gotcha. Copy that. Understood.
That's not Worf. Not Worf.
No.
But he had a nice little brief cameo. So let me get a quick paycheck in this movie. Any closing thoughts on Kong versus Godzilla? JVD, let's start with you.
As a fan of this genre, and a fan of the original 1962 King Kong versus Godzilla, this lives up to my expectations as a guy who loves giant monster brawls. As a fan of that, if any fan of these movies, I don't think they can complain about the action between these two. I didn't think we'd get no more than 2 fights. I was very surprised that we got 3. You could consider the second and third fight the same fight while they're in Hong Kong. And then you got the big fight with Mechagodzilla. So, yeah, man, I love it. Will it go down as one of my favorite kaiju movies? Probably not. But it might be in my top 10.
Okay. Oz, closing thoughts on Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong.
I love the fight scenes. They were great. I loved when Kong catches the ship and looks inside of it to make sure his best friend wasn't in there, and then just destroys it. Yeah, that was great. That was just brilliant to me. I do have some concerns about who's paying for all the damage done to Hong Kong during the fight, but they have to. I hope they get sued. Yeah.
Yeah, Hong Kong is massacred.
Dude, it's just like loss of life, loss of everything.
Nobody want to talk about that. It's all a happy ending for everybody. Kong gets to go his way. Godzilla get to go back in the sea. And now everybody get to go back to where they came from. But Hong Kong just in shambles.
Dude,
so what you're saying is if they make a sequel to this, it's Civil War.
It's got to be, right?
Someone's got to be responsible. Right?
It's got to be, right?
Dude, and there's a lot of PTSD, like waiting, like people are scared to go out in the ocean anymore because they're scared to see Godzilla, you know? Yeah, dude, that's a lot of craziness.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, closing thoughts for me. I thought the fight scenes were exceptional. I agree with you, JVD. I don't really think you could ask for much more out of the fight scenes. You know, even the tag team, as cliched as it was really well done. You know, the moments were real. You kind of felt for these monsters a little bit when it got to it. Top notch. You know, the humans made questionable decisions, but that's we've established that is a monster movie cliche. So it's just something you got to accept, and that's fine because everything else was top notch about it. So yeah, job well done. Hopefully there'll be a sequel or something else on the horizon to follow up with this.
Something, man. Something. I need to see what's going on.
I think this is the last one.
Well, there you go. There's that. Why not end on a high note? I'm okay with that.
But they are doing a Kong series on Netflix based off of all this, but I think it's a prequel. So
well, there you go, Oz. You might get your wish.
Well, let's read the comics.
You want to know something very interesting about this? Apparently, Adam Wingard said there is a 5-hour cut of this movie. So HBO Max
I don't need that.
Released a Wingard cut.
Do we need a 5-hour Kong versus Godzilla? If it's not an hour of them fighting, I don't need it.
Well, maybe it's flashbacks to like primordial Hollow Earth or Hollow World or whatever, you know?
Maybe. All right, we did it. We got through it. We knocked this bad boy out in under 2 hours. Surprisingly, I don't know how we did it.
Just one more thing for both of you to help me out with this, just for the movie.
Here we go.
If they had all that technology to get through that kind of weird wormhole, how come Kong could get through it easily just by falling through it?
Because he's bigger, the gravity doesn't affect him like it does us little bitty people.
Oh, Lord. Okay. I hope that's the answer, because I was just like, what? Okay.
Hey, more important question, when he went back up the tunnel, because I like how they framed everything. Like when he was looking up the tunnel, he was at, like, Godzilla was looking down, but he was still looking down. It was like, because it was backwards in the middle. But why didn't the gravity throw him back up into Hong Kong?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why didn't, like, Mario style?
That'd actually been a cool little way to do a little uppercut.
Hey, actually, I thought that's what was going to happen, and that's when we got the scene with the axe catching the atomic breath and it exploding. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Now, that was a hell of a shot. When he caught him with that X shot on the way down, that was a hell of a blow he took.
Oh, that was a blow.
Yeah, that was.
He wasn't expecting that.
He ate all that. That was.
Or she, whatever. I don't know.
All right, JVD, man, this has been a blast. As always, we appreciate you coming on. It's always fun just to chop it up with you, and it's just, we talked about Nutter Butters and picnics, Kong versus Godzilla, and steak. Can't forget about the steak. And not only that, but you have somebody moving on to the championship of our Character Madness tournament. So, JVD, plug any and everything you have. And again, thank you for being on.
Man, thanks for having me, guys. Man, I just love talking to you guys. It's nice to come on here and get a change of pace from Crossover Collision, because, we take everything so seriously, even though we have fun over there. Then we kind of come up here, get a cut up, talk about everything else that I don't do on my show. So it's pretty nice. I'm just going to plug the Superman versus Goku on Crossover Collision that just come out this Friday. We, as in me and Evan the Great, and Jay and Mac over on We Get Dubbed, man, we poured a lot of work into this episode. That's both episodes. So 4 hours of recording. We got done a little after midnight my time, so that is actually a little after 1 o'clock a.m. you guys' time over there on the East Coast, because they're New York boys. No, we were tired. We kept pushing through. But, man, I think what we've got is pretty solid evidence based on fact, which obviously there is opinion thrown in there. But I'm hoping at the end of it, people will look at it and consider the definitive conversation between Superman and Goku. Other than that, you can check out The Villains Demand over on Twitter at Villains Demand. That's where you'll find me at. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to The Villains Demand wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
And I've listened to the episode, and I can concur that this it's a great just barometer to kind of gauge this fight on for both of them, and just a great scale to use to really keep it fair and give both of them a puncher's chance, because obviously the scaling on both of these characters is ridiculous. So I thought you guys did a really good job of laying that out. Again, to say it, you guys did a great job setting the table, and I'm really excited for the next part. So yeah, definitely check that out, man. It's a great just learning piece about Superman and Goku and kind of how their power scale works. And it's broken down by numbers. So yeah, definitely check that out.
Here's some interesting numbers I'm just going to throw out. 724,239.4 U.S. tons. Yeah, well, that's quite a bit, isn't it? And then I will throw out the number of 100 nonillion joules of energy. Did you know nonillion was a grouping of numbers?
There you go.
That is 32 zeros.
That's what you get. That's what you get with the professionals over there at the Crossover Collision.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, already. Oz, tell everyone where they can find you, your time of the month on Twitter.
You're clever. Yeah, I'm just saying, because I feel there's going to come a time when I'm going to have to retaliate, but I'm going to be the better man. Yeah, hey, in honor of Regular Scott, I'm the better man.
All right, better man. Why don't you tell them where your Twitter is?
You can find me at Ozzy Rio, and I'll be checking my Twitter, trying to break those double digits. But it's all good. Yeah. I told Regular Scott that as I train my mind and my body, I'm gonna be training my Twitter account. Yeah, man, that's it.
Okay. And as always, you can find us on Twitter at @NE4 Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. Final blow time, guys. It is time to give your final thoughts. We plugged everything. It's time to give our final thoughts on everything. JVD, do you have any final thoughts or anything else that you'd like to say?
We know 2 men and a woman came into the bank branch clad in black business clothing, trench coats, bandanas, and sunglasses.
I guess not.
They pulled guns and ordered everybody to the floor. Cleaned out the registers.
Oz?
As usual, my people, peace and chicken grease, and keep watching Invincible, man. It's a great ride.
And y'all have a good time, because we're going to have a good time until we talk to y'all next time. Peace.
That be going, man. I love some of the jokes.
I just realized my mic was on mute.
That's okay. We still recording.
Oh, it's all good, Bob. I'm just jamming.
Hey, that run the jewels from Invincible. Next week, we talking Invincible, Captain America, Falcon Winter Soldier.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Sharon Carter's Power Broker.
Woo!
That thing is big. Done.
All right, word.
This is Defy Life. What you doing on a Sunday?